So today I want to revisit the Darkroom Mythbusters video. I'm going to figure out a way to test it again, but this time we're going to see if it affects the print. Right, but we're not seeing any of that. The question I was asking is, does the light affect our screens? But we don't sell screens, and our service requires a consistent and repeatable process. I also got to deal with this door problem, work on my bikes a little bit, whatever. Let's just get it going. We'll go back inside. Let's go. So I've already been wondering about how to figure this out, and I think the best way to test it is going to be with a whole lot of halftones.
First thing I gotta do is make the design. I just want to make a big ass square, really all it is. Apply a little gradient to it. Look at that. So that'll just be dots the whole way down. I don't want to leave it plain, so I'm going to steal some elements of this other limits test that we have in the shop. So I got the text knocked out, and it's going to print just a whole ton of dots from the very top to the very bottom.
And of course, I forgot to warm up the screen machine, so I'm gonna do that now, set up a job, and then we'll make this screen. So, test print looks good. I'm ready to print this job, but I really wanna see the results of this test. So let's go in the screen room and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on 305 mesh. We keep that kinda over here, because we don't use it as often. So I'm gonna start a 5-minute timer just like last time and take this thing out. Oh man, take it out into the shop lights. So I've got it in the same sort of spot that it was when we ran the first test. And now we're gonna see, are the shop lights gonna affect this portion of the design? Is it gonna make it inconsistent between a screen that has had less light versus a screen that's had more light? The time is up, so I brought it back in the darkroom, put it in the exposure unit, about 30 seconds for this mesh count. And now we're gonna put it in the water and rinse it out. And I think if there's any issues, we might be able to see them right at this point, right when we rinse it out. So I'm gonna set the camera up. We can do the big reveal together. So let's have a look. Let this thing dry off. I'm gonna print that job I set up and then come back later and test it when I'm done. So I have an idea of what to expect here based on looking at that screen. So when I made that last video, I think that I was asking the wrong question, and that's why I got the wrong answer. On the last video, I was asking, do the shop lights affect the emulsion? And the answer was, yeah, it does. But our customers don't care if it affects the emulsion. And so while I thought it might be smart to just be extra in that way and eliminate that variable completely, the problem is when you think about it from the customer perspective, why would they pay us to build infrastructure like a darkroom when it doesn't have any value to their product, to their service, or anything that they can perceive? So if we ask the right question, which is, do the shop lights affect the print? Then we'll get the right answer, which is whether we should have a darkroom or not, whether our clients will find value or benefit from us having a darkroom or not. And remember, I assume that because light is affecting the emulsion, that would affect the print. And a lot of people, most people, claim that there's no way it's going to affect the print. Now, if we do see a difference here, it would have meant that I was right, but for the wrong reasons still. It doesn't make sense for me to assume that it's going to affect the print just because it affects the emulsion, right? So let's do it. And there we have it, hey? So this crap is just from me putting the ink in there, but I don't see, remember we were expecting to see a line here, like as in maybe these dots would be more undercut than these ones or something like that, right? But we're not seeing any of that. I don't see any difference side to side of this print. So remember, you gotta ask the right questions to get the right answers, and you gotta keep testing even when you think you're right. Because like in my case, you might be asking the wrong questions. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.